What's up, guys? We're here. It's draft day. Let's get into the last draft. Last one, final mock draft. Mock draft hasn't started. It's Mendoza. Alright. Now we're into the start of the draft. Jets. I think it's Reese. Like, you can't tell me that canceling a meeting with David Bailey means they're going to take him. I just think it's Reese. I think they're set on him. Reese or Styles, one of those two, and I think they're going to take the upside on Reese being an edge rusher. So Reese at 2. Number 3, Arizona. I've been hearing they want to move out. I think they move out of this pick. A team that sticks out to me, I could see Kansas City try to move up for Bailey. Would not be a bad choice. Washington doesn't have the ammo. The Browns aren't going to move up. The Giants aren't going to move up. They're not going to move up. I could see Dallas, but I don't see it. I don't see them actually making a move. The Dolphins, maybe. The Saints are just they always seem to move up. I'm gonna try a New Orleans trade. Where is Arizona? We're gonna give up 8 for 3. 42.73 and get back 65. By no means do I know the actual trade values and what will actually happen. So you guys can just take it with a grain of salt. I just think the Saints are going to somehow move up from 8 to 3. Now, I think they move up for Bailey. I think they just want to solidify that edge across from Chase Young. Have a guy with Carl Granderson, so David Bailey and Carl Granderson. Okay. Tennessee at 4. Bailey's off the board. Bailey's off the board. The Giants are up next. And the Browns are here. The Giants, I think, really want to take Tyson. And I think the Browns want Tyson too. I think there's going to be a second trade. Because the Titans apparently want to move back and get more draft capital. So 6 to move up to 4. It's going to be a small jump. Something small. Yeah. I mean, you give up a future 4th. So that kind of sucks. But I, once again, take it with a grain of salt. Tyson at 4. Giants miss out on their guy. They traded away Dexter Lawrence in hopes of having enough ammunition where they would be able to get Tyson and then have another pick. I think you just go to the offensive line. You get Maui Goa, who can play guard and then tackle long term after Illuminar's gone. 6, after the Titans move back, I think a guy that I would have had them taking at 4, Jeremiah Love, is going to go here at 6. You also a good thing is they stay ahead of the Commanders, the Cardinals who traded back, and the Chiefs. They just needed to hope for the Giants to not take him. Commanders. I'm really between Sonny Styles and Carnell Tate. And I think they are too. I think they're really between them, and I think this is second worst case scenario for them is if they're both available at this pick. If neither of them are available at this pick, then it sucks. If both of them are here, then you have to make a decision. And you have two aging players at both of those positions. Well, now you don't have Bobby Wagner. But you have Terry McLaurin and nothing else. And then you have nothing. I mean, you have Frankie Louvu, but he's more of an outside backer. I think you want to focus on Jaden Daniels' development as much as possible, and I think getting a guy like Carnell Tate helps that. I think that's what they'll end up doing, and then they'll focus strictly on the defense for the rest of the draft, just to help out how bad that defense was. Arizona, after moving back, I think they now go Styles. Go get a guy who could just be like the centerpiece of your defense for years to come. You don't have to use the 3rd pick on him. Use the 8th pick. I mean, it's a high pick for a linebacker, but if he works out, it's a really good linebacker. And you picked up extra draft capital. 9. I think the Chiefs want Bane. I think they need an edge rusher. I think it all works out. Like, you could go Delane, but I think they're willing to pass on a corner that high in order to get other positions of need. And I think they're okay with getting corners late because they know they can develop super well. Giants at 10. There's a guy on the board. My number 1 player, Caleb Downs. I think he potentially could go at 5. But in this, my final mock draft here, he's going to go at 10. 11, Miami. They need everything. They are apparently heavily linked to Mansour Delane. They really want Mansour Delane. And you can't move out of this pick because the Cowboys will take him at 12. I could even see the Cowboys trying to move up to go get Mansour Delane. But Delane at 11. I don't think a lot of people would expect this, Delane to the Dolphins. So I think that's kind of going to have the Cowboys scrambling a little bit. I think they're going to want to take Dylan Thieneman. I think they're going to take Dylan Thieneman, but I think they're going to want to take him at 20. And I don't think they have an exact evaluation of who they would take directly in front of Thieneman to be able to take Thieneman at 20 or like move up a little bit for him while taking somebody at 12. So I think they would take Thieneman here. 13 to the Rams. I'm hearing it's just all wide receiver. And their GM loves Mekhi Lemon. So I think it's going to be Mekhi Lemon. This is such a boring pick. But the Ravens are going to get Ione. Like, I think he's my 9th best player in the draft. 8th. He's my 8th ranked player in the draft. And he just falls to them at 14. And I'm really starting to not like the Ravens because of how the whole Crosby thing happened. I don't know exactly what happened, but if it does come out that it was a Ravens thing, I wouldn't be surprised because they've done stuff like this in the past. Buccaneers. I've really been hearing they really want to move out of this pick. They really want to move back. They really are looking to move back, and I think Pittsburgh is potentially looking to move up. A lot of things I've been seeing, Pittsburgh moving up to 15. Now, for what? I'm not 100% sure. I think offensive line, because their offensive line was not very good last year. So I think they go and move up. I think they give up 21.99, 161, straight up for 15. Once again, I don't know the exact amount that's going to get moved. But Pittsburgh manages to move up. They go after an offensive tackle. And I think the top tackle on the board, Spencer Fano, a guy who you don't have to give up on Broderick Jones now at this point to have Spencer Fano there. You can have Broderick Jones and still try to develop him for his last year's deal. See if he works out. Maybe give him an extension. But you have Fano there as a safety net. So I think that could be their thinking. Jets at 16. Looking at the board. Jermod McCoy. Maybe. Sadiq, maybe. I could see. But they just drafted Mason Taylor last year, so it doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't think they go tackle. They don't really have a tackle need. Keldrick Falk, maybe, but you already drafted Arvell Reese. I've been hearing they want one offense, one defense in the first round, and I think one offense, one defense in the second round. I don't think they're going to double up. So now we look at the offense. Not going to go offensive line. Sadiq is probably he's standing out to me. Ooh. They just got Mason Taylor, but they don't have another wide receiver. Ooh. I think I'm going to go with Mark Cooper Jr. I don't know if I've seen anybody do that, but I think they may take a swing on Omar Cooper Jr. They might do it. I mean, with the top 3 wide receivers already off the board, we could take Omar Cooper Jr. there. I can almost guarantee that Caden Proctor's not making it past 17. The Lions just really want him. And I think based on stuff he has done at Alabama, he fits exactly what Dan Campbell wants. He's got the size. He's got the drive, the man strength. They use him in pass plays. It's meant to be. But moving on. Vikings. I think they would have taken Thieneman here. I really do. Because I think Thieneman fits that Harrison Smith build. Because he's more of that sky safety, but also can move around in the box. But I think they're just in on Emmanuel McNeil-Warren as they are on Dylan Thieneman. I think they're neck and neck, and I think they would take either one if they're available. So Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at 18. 19. It just feels like a match made in heaven. One of the worst tight end rooms in the league is about to be fixed by one of the best tight end prospects ever. Kenyon Sadiq is going to go team up with Bryce Young and Teteroa McMillan in Carolina, the playoff team from last year that went 8-9, and try to make another playoff push. Absolute cinema. 20 though. We got to deal with the Cowboys again. And I think with them taking Thieneman at 12, they're going to want to move back. They don't have a lot of draft ammo in this draft. So I think one of these picks they're going to attempt to move back with. It definitely could have been 12, but I think it's more likely 20 that gets moved unless they go trade back with 12 and then go Falk at 20 and whatever they get it. The other pick. Who would trade up? Let's actually see who's available. Offensive line wise, there's still a lot of tackles. A team could move up for Monroe Freeling, but I don't think I think the Eagles are probably the biggest on Monroe Freeling right now, besides maybe the Browns, and the Browns got Jordan Tyson, so maybe. But also Blake Miller. I'd like Blake Miller to go higher than both of these guys. And I think the Chiefs are the biggest team on Blake Miller. So let's have the Chiefs attempt to move up with Dallas. 29, 20. Would 74 do it straight up? That would give them a pick in between 20 and 92, or 29 and 92. And that's exactly what the Cowboys want. Chiefs move up. Go find their replacement at right tackle. Go get Blake Miller. It works out. They give up 74. It works out for them. Bucks at 21 after moving back with the Steelers. A guy they potentially could have gone at 15. I could see Keldrick Falk. But I think they're higher on Akeem Messidor right now. I think just at this moment they're higher on him than they are Keldrick Falk because of the production. Like the production concerns with Keldrick Falk. So I think Akeem Messidor at 21. 22, the Chargers. Is it possible there's another move here? Because the Chargers, I think, only have 5 picks. Like random one. I think, yeah, they only have 5 picks. I think they want to move back. Especially with Messidor going off the board. I think they want to test out what everybody else wants. Now, Falk, I don't think a lot of teams would have thought Falk would be this far. So maybe he's a player that somebody tries to trade up for. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try to... I think Chicago missed out on Max Crosby. Well, technically not yet, but I don't think he's going to get moved. Bears try to trade up with Chargers. 25 for 22. I think they just give up later picks. 129 and 241. Just throw them an extra pick. Whatever. So they move up. They go grab Keldrick Falk. Bears grab Keldrick Falk at pick 22. Gave up 2 late picks. They have the extra ammunition. They're fine with it. 23, the Eagles. I've been hearing they are attempting to move up. They have a lot of ammunition. They're trying to move up. I don't think this is a move down spot for the Eagles. I personally would love them to move back in this draft and try to acquire more capital in next year's draft. But it's not looking like that's going to happen. And I think with them being so high on Monroe Freeling, I think they take him. My only concern is him not having a lot of starts. But the good thing is he can sit behind Lane Johnson for this year. I don't even think it's the biggest need for the Eagles right now. Offensive tackle for the future. Because we have Cam Williams. But it's not a terrible idea to just get more guys in the room. So I think taking him there is not a terrible idea. Moving on. Browns. Browns probably would have taken Freeling. They honestly probably would have traded up for Freeling by now. I don't think Freeling makes it to 23. I just don't see it happening. But it happened here just because of how this mock draft's going. But I think they go offensive tackle in Lomu. It's pretty much the last big offensive tackle off the board. I mean, you have Ian Archer, but I don't think he goes until probably the Patriots pick. I think that's the highest he'll go. Maybe the Texans pick. I think the highest he'll really go is 26. Or 27. The highest he'll potentially go is 27. In my opinion. But now the Chargers, after moving back, they are so desperate for offensive line help. It is horrible. I was thinking Emmanuel Pregnon. I honestly think Pregnon is better. But I can't help but take Chase Basantis just because of that tackle history. He could be a guy who can step in and tackle when they need it, because they have injury-prone tackles, and I think that's something that the Chargers would be a little bit more intrigued in. Well, Buffalo, there's another trade candidate. I think it's gonna be absolute chaos. Absolute chaos in the end of the first round. And I think it's really going to start here with Buffalo. Well, it already started, but it's going to continue here. Somebody's going to move up with Buffalo. I think it's going to be Vegas. I think Vegas definitely would have moved up here if it was for Omar Cooper Jr. There's another guy in mind I have. They give up 102, 134, and 219 for 26. I think it's a lot to give up. I think they probably give up a future pick. But they go and move back into the first round up, I think, 10 spots to go grab their defensive tackle. To go grab their defensive centerpiece alongside Max Crosby and Caden McDonald. The Niners, another team that really wants to move down. And I would say Arizona goes and moves up for Ty Simpson here. But I don't think the Niners would allow it. I think if it comes down to a better deal from a division rival or a little bit worse of a deal from another team, like the Jets, I think they go with a little bit of a different deal. A little bit less. Just so that the Cardinals don't do anything. On top of it, they get a higher second round pick. They may not get the value in other picks, but they get the higher second round pick. So I think that's valuable to them. But Jets move up, get their third first round pick of the draft, and draft Ty Simpson at pick 27. Now 28. I really thought this would be a spot to trade back. But I think they just go Christian Miller. I think they have to get younger on the defensive line. You just paid Will Anderson Jr. $50 million a year. You have Danielle Hunter paid for $40-some million a year. Or for 1 year, but you do not have the money to go out and sign guys now for at least the next 2 years. So you have to get younger in these positions, and a guy like Christian Miller definitely fills a need that they really want to fill right now. And now all you have to do for the entirety of the rest of the draft is focus on your offensive line and your wide receiver room and just fix your offense. That's all you need to do. And maybe a linebacker. That's all you need to do. Cowboys, after moving back, I was really looking into it because I really thought the Cowboys would go Colton Hood and Thieneman. Or like Chris Johnson and Thieneman or something. Some sort of two secondary players. But, like, the more I looked into it, the less likely it is that they actually take two players in the secondary in the first round. I think their whole goal is defense in the first round. Like, it will only be defensive players. Unless, like, one of those offensive linemen, like, manage to fall to them. Like, if Maui Goa is there at 12 or something, like, maybe they take him. I could see that potentially. But I'm looking at the defensive line, like, I could see a Zion Young. I could see a TJ Parker. Gabe Jackas, I'm pretty high on him. I don't have him in my top 50, but I think he's a very good player. Like, Cassius Howell. Actually, Cassius Howell would be a very good pick. Ooh. Keep him right in Texas. I'm going to do that. Yeah, Cassius Howell. Cassius Howell to the Cowboys at pick 29. He fits in that 3-4 defense. And I think, I can't fully remember if Christian Parker was there when Hassan Reddick was on the Eagles. But that's who he reminds me of, is Hassan Reddick. Not just because he's, like, the smaller, but, like, just the play style. 30. This is from the Jalen Waddle trade. Dolphins at 30. You need to go offensive weapon. You cannot live without an offensive weapon for that team. You just signed Malik Willis to that crazy contract. I mean, it's not crazy, but you just signed him to that contract. I think you got to go and get an X receiver for him. Because you have guys like Malik Washington and all these guys who can go play the slot. They can go play a Y. Like, you don't have a true X receiver right now. So a guy like Denzel Boston fits that role. On top of, you steal him from potentially going to your division rival, the Patriots, who are, I believe, linked to Denzel Boston. If they do not end up trading for A.J. Brown, which I don't know what's going on there. 31 now. I said it before. I don't think it was a coincidence that Vrabel was personally coaching Ian Achor at his pro day. I just don't think it's a coincidence. I think they're set on getting another guy. You moved around your offensive line now. Jared Wilson's going back to center. And I think Will Campbell could move back in, or not back, but move into the inside. And then we would see Maxie and Achor playing left tackle next year. I think there's potential there. I mean, it sucks that you now are making this decision, which essentially makes your 4th overall pick in last year's draft a guard. But you have to do these things when it comes up. But final pick of round 1 in my final mock draft is going to be traded. The Seahawks have 4 picks in this draft. They severely want to move out. I think Tennessee calls them up. Tennessee calls them up. Gives them 35 for 32. And gives them 101. Moves up 3 spots. Gives up a 4th round pick. And goes and gets TJ Parker to make Robert Saleh happy. Give Robert Saleh another defensive tackle, or another defensive end. Can fit in either style of defense, whatever style he wants. He's super versatile, which is perfect for Robert Saleh. So now you make Brian Dable and Robert Saleh happy in the same round. It's perfect. But this draft was chaos. And it's going to be chaos tomorrow night. Or tonight. Later tonight. It's also probably going to be tomorrow night, day 2. Day 1 and day 2 are going to be chaos. But anyway, please like and subscribe. And enjoy watching the draft. I know I will be.